Hi, my name is Jeff Mays, and this is my oral presentation for Drama 15. The assignment was to review a play in front of a small group, and so this is my small group. And I'm going to do the review on the play that I went to see in Orinda called American Night, the Ballad of Juan. Specifically, I'm supposed to choose one element of the play that stood out to me, and that one element would be the costumes for me. I took notes from the beginning when I got to the play, and I ran out of room on my paper. In fact, I've got that to show you. I started taking notes, and there were so many, I ran out of room, and I had to turn it over and start writing different costumes on the back, because there was just so many of them. And the costumes were very different than the stage setting. The stage setting was very sparse. It was supposed to just look like just a plain road, like a blacktop road with just a line. And I can show you that too. I took a picture in the beginning before they told us not to take any picture. But that's what the stage looked like. And then I also kept the playbill, and that's how they're advertising it. So pretty much just a plain sparse setting, and that was it. And the stage settings didn't get any more complicated than that. It was just like, it would just be a table and a chair, or just like a tent, like a half a tent and a fake campfire, or sometimes just like one microphone stand and that's it. But the costumes were very lush and rich in detail, and I wondered if maybe that was to put the focus more on the characters and less on like the stage dressing. So to get right to it, Juan, the main character, he was the only one that never did change his clothes at all. He wore like faded jeans and like a wife beater tank top and a light blue work shirt. And it seemed like the kind of thing somebody like Juan that was poor and on the road would wear. They weren't ripped or dirty, but they looked worn, and maybe that was supposed to reflect the character of Juan, like he was kind of like tired and worn out in his journey. There were two Mormon elders in the beginning of the play that wore like white short sleeve button-up shirts and the black slacks, like the typical uniform of the Mormon church. And my favorite actor in the play, who I think his name is Dan Hyatt, according to the playbill, he wore like black framed glasses and a pocket protector, and he kind of looked like a 1960s NASA control room guy, which it worked really good for the Mormon guy. After that scene, Juan has a flashback where he's interrogated by two Mexican policemen in a bribery scene, and they wore like the brown policeman hats and the aviator glasses, the mirror glasses, and the brown shirts and pants and everything, and they look very authentic. The next scene, Juan falls asleep and the dream sequence begins, and they used an actor just dressed in just black tights with like two cardboard cutouts for clock hands. And I actually liked it. It was really simple, but it worked good, and it was kind of clever, and I like that outfit idea. In my written report, I touched on the Lewis and Clark scene. It opens up with the two of them paddling like a rough-hewn, like Disneyland-looking canoe onto the stage. And their outfits were really good. They both had like coonskin caps and buckskin coats with the tassels on the arms and the whole bit. And then they also meet up with the Indian guide Sacagawea, who Juan calls Sacagawawa. And she's got a buckskin dress that looks very realistic, and moccasins and everything, and feathers in her hair and stuff, and this really ornate beaded dental retainer for her braces, because she is only 15, right? Which is funny. Next he meets up with characters from the Spanish-American War, and the soldiers look realistic in their cavalry outfits. And then the Spanish-Mexican leader, I forget if he was a general or whatever, but he was a big guy, and he wore this big white blouse with this big red sash and a big sombrero, and had a big mustache, and he was a big character. There's a Civil War scene where Juan meets a black cowboy and his wife, his kind wife, tending to injured soldiers in the tent hospital. At least I think that's what they were doing. And she looked right in place. She had like a heavy floor-length dress and a bonnet. And the cowboy, he was the only one, he looked a little Hollywood because he had like a yellow shirt with a brown cowboy vest and chaps and all that. But he definitely, there's no denying he was a cowboy, so the outfit worked. And those two guys meet up with a Ku Klux Klan member in the whole white sheet with the hood and the whole real deal, which was kind of uncomfortable to see. I don't think I've ever seen that in real life. It was kind of weird. He ends up seeing the errors of his ways, and he takes his outfit off at one point. And it's revealed that he's a judge. And I think the playwright maybe made him a judge because that would be somebody who's used to wearing robes. He's got a black pair and he's got a white pair of robes, right? Which you can kind of, that's stuff to think about. And when he took them off too, you know the joke about the judge who never wears pants under his robes? He wasn't wearing pants under his KKK robes either. But he did have like the black, what do you call them, leg garters to hold his socks up. So, I mean, even details down to that level of the play in the costumes. There were Texas Rangers, who I remember looking very military in their poofy pantaloons and ranger hats. And I think that's the scene where Teddy Roosevelt points his gun at me and shoots me. He says, "Stop texting!" And I wasn't, but that was a fun play. There was a railroad construction camp scene where one meets one of the funniest characters, a confused African, Japanese, Jewish, American railroad worker. He wore like a big Japanese kimono with an afro, and then instead of being like a blend of all his different cultures, he just keeps switching from being African American to being Jewish to being, you know, which was funny. There was a Japanese internment camp with everyone in their 1940s outfits. There was a white lady in a plain-looking blue dress, you know, and like her hair up. And there was the main character, Johnny. He kind of looked like Fonzie in Happy Days. He had like a leather coat with blue jeans and like a big old pompadour. Jackie Robinson shows up in that scene too, the baseball player, and he's in full Dodger gear, you know, pants, shirt, jacket, hat, the whole bit. The next scene was Woodstock in the 60s, and Bob Dylan, like with a Levi coat and like big red curly hair wig, and two other hippies with headbands and flowers in their hair and everything. And then the big finale had all kinds of characters, so many I can't even list them all, but like a Danville soccer mom in the khaki mom pants and a sweater.